Thank you so much for joining. So happy to see you and just interact with you, even though it is going to be mostly chat, I suppose. So I hope you had a really good end to the year, and really to 2025, and a really good start to 2026. I'm super excited. I did have an almost complete break from everything in my business for more than 3 weeks, and um, I was kind of itching to get back on and send emails and all of that stuff, but I'm back with a lot more ideas, a lot more energy, and I feel like it's been good. It was your best month. Awesome, awesome. So happy to hear that. So let's make this your best year and my best year and all of our best years. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so happy to see you and so happy to speak to
Nice
you.
to see you.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. Oh, and that's Tiffany. So welcome, Tiffany. Happy to see you online as well. Although
Hello.
I don't know. Hey, this might be a very strange time for you. It's quite late in the evening for you, isn't it?
It's 8 o'clock in the evening for me.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you for joining and thank you for making time for this call. And I'm so happy to see you both. It's like, a great way to start the new year. And Alicia, you were just telling me that you had your best month in December. Tiffany, how was your 2025? Did you end the year strong? Did you start 2026? Are you happy with how that's starting for you?
So 2025 was okay. It was the first
Mhm.
time, it was the first year that I actually worked on, really worked on the shop. And then, but this week I got 3 sales, or actually 2 sales. 2 sales. Yeah. Someone bought 2 spreadsheets, and then I got another one this
Wow.
morning, which was nice.
And I think many of your customers, I mean, if I remember your customer profile correctly, they're kind of all energized and raring to go. So you'll probably start to see more of digital planners, spreadsheets, etc., picking up, over the next few weeks. So
Mhm.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we have questions for you about things, should we wait till the end?
No,
Or
just ask. This
okay.
is an interactive session,
Okay,
and I hate to
spreadsheets.
be talking.
I love your spreadsheets and I bought your spreadsheet set. There's like 10 of them. I don't know. I bought them. I don't know if it was for $17. It was like different spreadsheets that you could redo PLR. Maybe
Mine, I don't.
like 2 months ago. It was a while ago.
It might have been an affiliate offer because I don't recall selling spreadsheets. I'm so sorry. But sorry,
It's
go on.
okay. That's okay. So I bought spreadsheets from your spreadsheets,
Me.
whether it was you or an affiliate, and I have it on the trend. I have it on your thing. That's how I know that it's spreadsheets that I've gotten from you. And so
Okay.
I haven't ventured into that part of my business is spreadsheets, not spreadsheets. I'm
hmm
so sorry. I'm saying it wrong. Planners.
No.
I got planners from you. I'm sorry. That was me. And I heard you saying with Tiffany, that her shop is spreadsheets and planners, right?
hmm
Tiffany, is that
hmm
right? And I'm just so scared to go in that direction. I do lots of games, I do lots of kids' activities, but I've been looking at how do I adapt and change and make different planners. And I'm scared. Should I be scared? Should I go for it? Should I? What's your encouragement with that?
What do you think, Tiffany? Any thoughts before I kind of jump in?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think I went into spreadsheets. I think I did a couple of number of things. I took a printables course, and I was thinking that, and I was thinking invitations but all that it seemed like there were so many people doing it, and it wasn't as much fun to me. So I was like, oh, this seems like that's how I started doing planners. I think the digital planners are so pretty, and so I started doing that. So I have some digital planners, but what really sold are my spreadsheets. Those are the things that are selling best for me. And no, and I think they're
I have
fun.
one
They're nice.
spreadsheet I've done. So I did like a movie tracker, TV
Oh, okay.
tracker spreadsheet, and I have a plan to do one a month, but it's something I'm not amazing at. So I have a little bit harder. So I thought I'll just do planners. And then I think of all the planners that are digital that like you're talking about. And I think I love Notion. I use Notion, but I don't create other
Mm-hmm.
people's stuff in Notion. All my stuff's in Notion that I keep track of, like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So just go like when I look at what's been trending for planners and stuff, I get overwhelmed because I think maybe there's too many of them out here. Maybe what's going to make this unique or different, or what are your thoughts?
I have so many thoughts. It's just crazy. I mean, what I have, so let me just go back to the beginning. But Tiffany does so well with planners and spreadsheets and digital planners because her target audience is busy women in their 40s, trying to manage their careers and their kids and their home and everything. And I'm literally like, that's me, that's my friends, that's people I know, that's literally, everyone in my circle. And, they do want something they can kind of carry around in their device, use on their commute or when they have 5 minutes at work or whatever. It's not something that they would be looking at printables as well, but they're really keen to keep things organized and keep everything in a way that they can get to things faster. So her target audience is very, very specific, and planners, spreadsheets, digital planners are really compelling for them. You are right about planners being a very very competitive niche, but I would say it's not any more competitive than, the games that you do. Games are very competitive as well. And in your games niche, in your shop, you would look for a kind of, you would be creating specific branding, a specific look, a kind of feel that keeps people coming back. And that is what works for most planners as well. So you could narrow it to, planners for the family, for education, you could, or for small businesses, which I think is, still very underserved. Um, or, or even specific, be even more narrow, like real estate or interior design or blogging. These are all even more narrow than small biz. So I think starting with a narrow niche and then expanding. For the second part, so in terms of formats, again, Notion does pretty well. Spreadsheets do very well, mainly because I think no one has the energy for printable to print and use things and carry them around anymore. They still do, not that they don't. Hey Tracy, thanks for joining us. So it's not that they don't use it, but the target audience is different and it's shrinking. It's as big as it used to be when printables were first coming in. But with Notion, with Google Sheets, you can use them across multiple devices. You can use them across different operating systems. You can't do so much with digital planners, but you can still kind of keep them with you. You don't have to carry another bunch of, you know, files or papers with you when you're out and about. So who uses these planners is quite different. Notion does very well. I do think that Etsy is not the number one choice for Notion. Notion template buyers tend to look at the Notion marketplace and Gumroad before they come to Etsy, but they still do buy on Etsy as well. So Notion does fairly well on Etsy, just not as much. There's not as much volume of demand. It is still a good thing because I always say that, when it comes to digital products, the shops that I have seen that do well with a very small number of items, they're all Notion shops, as in shops that have 6 or 8 Notion products, and they have a high volume of sales just from that. They don't need to keep adding to their shop like pretty much every other digital product shop. They probably do a lot more marketing, but they don't need a high volume of products to keep showing up on Etsy. Spreadsheets, again, very popular on Etsy, and it's probably because Google Sheets doesn't have as much of a dedicated marketplace like Notion does. Um, so that's again, fairly big demand on Etsy, and one of the largest places to sell Google Sheets if that's something you're interested in.
Mhm.
I also see many Google Sheets sellers, you know, starting on Etsy, but then kind of expanding, or rather attracting customers on Etsy, but then selling them directly on their own website. So it's less competitive than Etsy. You're still attracting customers from there, but it's less competitive. Yeah, I think those are some of the things off the top of my head, but again, very niche planners. So I was doing the pet care planner yesterday, in yesterday's Tuesday Trends, and I remember that Google Sheets templates were doing very well in pet care planners. I would have thought printables with, where people can kind of jot down information and keep it handy, because it's not very often that they need to be carrying around information about their pets. So I assume that would do well. But when I looked at the products that are selling, Google Sheets are just as common as printables. I didn't see Notion templates, so I wouldn't be surprised if they show up too. But Google Sheets are just as common as printables on the first page of Etsy. So I think there's still opportunity. It's better to niche rather than, the full year planner, the monthly planner, weekly planner. Those are nice, but people just get them all for free now, so nobody really wants to pay for those. And yes, having that very specific branding that keeps people coming back to your shop, I think that's going to be the key again. Sorry, I spoke a lot.
No, that's really good. How do you make a printable planner into a digital? And that may not be able to be answered right here and right now, but
Mhm.
I don't even have a clue.
Okay, there's a couple of things, there's a couple of ways. Uh, you can do it in Canva. It's probably the worst way to do it, but literally manually adding links inside Canva is one option. I used to get these PowerPoint PLR templates, which were already hyperlinked. I find PowerPoint much easier because you can have way more than, say, Canva. You cannot have 365 pages that are hyperlinked. It just doesn't work. So you need to kind of create multiple blocks and then combine them together. That really kills my kills my energy. PowerPoint is much simpler. You can have as many pages as you want, and you can kind of use a master slide, and you can hyperlink and all of that. And I find I don't have the patience to hyperlink everything. So again, I just buy hyperlinked PLR PowerPoint planners, which is what I used to do till now. I bought PDF Linker last year, and that's amazing. I mean, that's one of my favorite tools right now. So it lets you extract links it lets you kind of apply links automatically using CSV files. It lets you extract links once you've created one planner. You don't need to kind of add links ever again. You pick one and then you can simply apply them to multiple planners, different styles if you wish, and all of that. And I find it super easy to use. So I was able to create about 20 smartphone planners all in one weekend with Sunday and Monday starts. So that's a lot of fun and a lot less work than even using PowerPoint. So I think that's the high level answer. The specific of how to hyperlink and all of that is going to be a little more, I guess it's going to take a little more time.
Good. You gave, that's perfect. I understand. That's good.
No, but how to use PDF Linker is one of those one of those articles that I've been wanting to write, or course that I wanted to create, simply because it helps me. I know I'm not going to look at it till September next year, and I'm like, I don't want to be fumbling through this again. So I want to kind of remember what I did and do it. And the other thing I like about PDF Linker is also that you can create links to your Google Calendar and Apple Calendars. So, as a customer, it's a lot more easier to use. You can kind of add things in your planner, but also link them to the calendar that you use all the time. What else did I have? Oh yes, apart from that, I know that Jan Small used to do PowerPoint hyperlink planners. I don't think I've seen any in recent months from her. And Neha from Planner for All, she also does hyperlink planners with links to Google Sheets and all of that. So if you're comfortable with PowerPoint, that's one of the easier places to start. But if you're looking for something that you can just do long term, plug and play, I would recommend PDF Linker. It does take a while. At least for me, it took. Oh my God, I completely forgot this lady's name, but she's amazing. She was so helpful. Camelia, yes. Camille, yes. Oh my God, yes, she was so good, so patient and so helpful, and kind of replying to me in the middle of the night. But she was so helpful, helping me, get that sorted. Once you have that set up, it's much easier.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Tiffany, is there anything I'm missing in terms of, digital planners, Google Sheets, Notion templates?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
Oh, sorry, no. Did I miss anything? Is there anything you'd add to, what I said? Because I kind of spoke about a whole lot of things.
No, I think
Is there anything that
I think that's about right. Like I've taken like a Notion course to make it, but that's just overwhelming to me. And I think Notion could do so much, and then it's just hard to think about like what specifically your customer need and what. So I put that on the back burner right now. Google Sheets makes sense to me, and you can pull it up on your phone, on your tablet, on everywhere. So it's so convenient. I mean, I use them myself.
Mm,
So I think those are great. Digital planners are just so pretty. Like if you
mm.
see, and I have PDF Linker too, um, and I haven't used it in such a while that now I'm kind of I don't even know where to start. So I'm like, I'll put that on the back burner too because I can't even.
Mm,
But I do have a couple of digital planners on my
mm,
shop. But really, the what's been works best for me is the spreadsheets, and I just don't know if I'm just not hitting the sweet spot with the digital planners because I don't even get many views on them. So if I'm just not putting the
mm.
right ones out, or they're not really speaking to my customer, I'm not putting them out with or I'm not putting them out when I should. I'm not certain, but I don't get very many views on those.
Sorry, I'm going to take a little bit of a tangent to share some of the things I've seen with digital planners. And that's one reason I'm not keen on selling digital planners myself. But there's a couple of shops. There's one called On Planner, and there's a few shops on Etsy as well, which they actually let you kind of pick the sections and the pages that you want. So after you purchase, you get taken to these pages where you can select the pages that you want, and you can select which sections you want in your
Wow.
planner, and then the final output is a PDF, hyperlink PDF that is exactly what you want in the styles that you want, so you're not scrolling through pages and all of that. And I have no idea how they do it. They probably use some kind of tool, but I really don't know how that is set up. I've not been able to find out. And for digital planners, again, I just see these huge planners for like 3 years, 5 years and all of that for a very low cost, and that's a lot of work for
Mm-hmm.
what they're selling. Even if it's volume and all of that, that's great, but I don't know if I want to compete with that
Right.
with that number. So smartphone planners do work. They work the same principle as digital planners, except they're sized for smartphones. And I get a lot of people buying it who are new to the whole concept of digital planning. A lot of their questions are very, can I use it in this system, can I use it in that system, can I sync across devices, etc. So very beginner level questions, but you know smartphone planners work, and at least for the last 3 years they've been selling consistently for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep using those. Not too keen to sell digital planners myself, though they look good and I want to. And the other thing with digital planners is, you know I've seen people sell 18-month planners, you know, starting in March. Your July 2026 to your December 2027 planner would be available in March for people to, start buying. And so that's a very early time frame. So I think digital planners, again, so competitive that the earlier you get them out there, especially dated planners, you know, the better they work. But digital planners that are more kind of, you know, niched, such as, 5-year journals, which I think, the best format is a digital planner, because you don't need, you need this bigger book to, to have 5 years worth of dates. But 5-year planners, student digital planners, although students are opting for Notion more than digital planners. And I think same for, was it Petcare? It was one of the products that I was looking at this month that was again popular as a digital planner. So again, coming down to the niche and to the specific demand, I think that's where. Oh yes, sorry. The other point with digital planners is also I see a lot of promotions for digital planners on Facebook groups. There are a lot of groups dedicated to digital planning, and there's people offering them for free to get them onto the list, of course, and also selling digital planners and kind of saying that, oh, I discovered this and this is good and all of that. I see them on Reddit. So I think there's a lot of places off Etsy that digital planner sellers are promoting their products and then driving the traffic to Etsy or other shops.
What do you think of bucket list planners? Like people doing I was starting to create a little set of bucket lists that people color in at the
Mm-hmm.
top, different things they could do every
Mm-hmm.
month with the calendar. Is that worth it? Should
Mm-hmm.
I keep going on that or should I stop?
I think I saw summer bucket list trending a while back,
Yeah.
and I haven't really looked at bucket list calendar, to be honest.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that's certainly okay. I had somebody actually buy all 4 seasonal bucket lists from me, and those are just printable. So I was kind of surprised, they're not even coloring types or anything. I was just honestly surprised that somebody was buying it. So here's my other point, which I really should have said right at the beginning. But the good thing with digital products is that it costs very little to experiment. And so, if you're not spending a lot of time and energy creating them, like with digital planners, there's very little barrier to entry. So you can kind of just put it out there and see if that works. And if it works, that's great. If it doesn't work, you can just try something else. And if you're experimenting with planners, spreadsheets, Notion templates, no harm in putting out a few and just seeing what works. If it sells, you are out 20 cents, but you're probably making more than that anyway if it sells. So that's the way I see it. Sorry, I spoke so much.
No, good. Thank you.
No, thank you for asking. Any other questions or comments before I jump into the the monthly planning bits? Okay, and you can keep asking because Tiffany, were you saying something?
Well, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay, thanks. So yes, do jump in and share your thoughts, your comments, your questions, because I really don't want to be just talking at you. I hate doing that. So please do jump in. So again, just the monthly planning call outline. I don't exactly follow this, but we jump to January. I think I've seen all of you on the calls before, but there's also a whole lot of new people who are seeing this for the first time. And so just a reminder, this is a list of what you could create. It isn't a list of what you must create. So we'll talk through some of these ideas and what works. You don't have to do all of it, and it's not a checklist of things that you must take off. Look for what works for your niche, look for what appeals to you and what interests you, and go with that. You don't have to do all of this. So we'll talk through these, and we'll take any of your questions as they come in. And if you're not on the call today, you can always send me your questions as well. I want to make sure that this is actually helpful and not just something that I'm throwing out there and forgetting about it. So we are a week into January, so some of these are over. There's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Jan 19th, and I had suggested classroom bulletin boards. If that's related to your niche, you could create those, because we also have Black History Month coming up in February. But if you're listing it, you need to get it out there fast, because there's only a few days left before people start buying it, and it really starts to peak. And then there's Australian Open tennis as well. So you can, while I wouldn't recommend creating products for January at this point, you can certainly use this in your messaging, in your content. If you want to offer some kind of Australian Open sale or something like that, you can always do that, or a dry January sale. You can simply do that. You can use that for promotion instead of creating. I kind of feel like an idiot for missing the Lunar New Year previously. That's on Feb 17th, and that is definitely a good opportunity. It's not something that's very, it is widely celebrated, not in the US so much, but definitely widely celebrated. And pretty much all of the products that we talk about, clip art, planners, maybe not. Why am I blanking out? But gift tags, games, classroom bulletin boards, educational materials, all of these centered around Lunar New Year. I think that would be a really good option. Just one thing to keep in mind is that there is some sensitivity around the word Chinese New Year, because it's celebrated, beyond China. It's celebrated in places, in many other places around South Asia and Southeast Asia. So it's called, I think, Lunar New Year or Spring Festival is the more, widely accepted preferred term instead of Chinese New Year. So in case you're creating these, you can use Chinese New Year in your tags, but use Lunar New Year or Spring Festival as your main, what you use in your banners. That's a bit more inclusive. And then there's Groundhog Day, there's Winter Olympics, Valentine's Day, Galentine's, which is when I think through this month you're already starting to see Valentine's and Galentine's products coming up, and you'll see a lot more of those, through this month. I do think that's a little too short notice, especially on Etsy. But if you're selling on your own website, if you're selling, on different platforms, on social media, etc., you can still go ahead and list some of these. There's President's Day, Mardi Gras, which I'm not too familiar with, but these are again significant days for printables. And Ramadan also begins on Feb 17th. So that's another global festival that, especially for products like clip art and educational materials, there would be a huge demand for those. And there's School Bus Driver Appreciation Day, which is kind of cute. And
you've seen that might be a good place to go for the School Bus Driver Appreciation
like gifts and tags and things like that? No.
Yes. So what I've seen is more of um, I think delivery drivers
Yeah.
appreciation, you
Nice.
know,
Delivery?
templates.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And that was, I think that was last Jan or Feb that I had listed it. So I'll send
I
that link over
remember
to you again.
that. Yes.
That's such a cute
Okay.
product. I love it. It's just simple one pages and it's so meaningful. So I think, and if it's a school bus driver appreciation, again, little cards, that where kids can kind of add some candy or a thank you note or something. Those would work as well. So maybe, I mean, definitely not as big as a teacher appreciation day, but definitely, one of those little products that can go into the shop.
I love that. Thank you.
No worries. Glad that helped. And yes, there's Black History Month, Library Lovers Month, LGBTQ History, and National Time Management Month, all of which works for educational products, for reading clubs and book clubs, for diversity and inclusion resources, for productivity resources. So if your products are related to that, definitely use that for promotion, for creating new products, etc. And this is again something that I have mentioned before. The idea behind these months and awareness days is that um, while you may not specifically create products for these months, you could, but it's more that there will be awareness, that's driven by other organizations, by corporations, and by educational institutions, and all of that. And so, people who are, especially things like mental health or Black history, which people might be learning something new and they might be like, oh, this I didn't know. And this is something I want to find out more about. They might, or this is something I want to explore. They might find themselves looking for resources to learn or to implement what they are learning related to it. And March, of course, it's St. Patrick's Day, Women's Day. There's March Madness, and there's, all of the hockey, football, basketball, baseball, all of those seasons are beginning. So please be mindful that you don't use any terms that might be trademarked, and I think this might be trademarked, but this term I think is trademarked. So don't use March Madness in your listing title or your description, but you can still use it. You can still create products for March Madness, such as some kind of bracket sheets, etc. Which I did see those were kind of doing well on Etsy last year. And there's National Women's History Month. So these are some of the awareness months and days. And this list is actually much smaller than Q4, but it's still a fairly large list. And once St. Patrick's Day is over, that's, I think, Easter is in early April this year. So, if you have Easter products, if you have Easter related themes, and it doesn't have to be specifically Easter, but it can also be faith or spiritual related products.
Lent would be a good one to add to that because Lent is 40 days before Easter.
Yes, that's a good one, actually. I didn't think of that. So yes, Lent specifically would be even better for things like spiritual themed products, for faith themed products, and Easter can be Easter itself, but also spring, faith, and spiritual. So, it doesn't have to be specific to this, but these are all products that you can, or these are all themes that you can consider for your products over the next couple of months.
I have a question.
Hmm?
Can we explore a little bit more with the hockey, football, basketball, baseball seasons? What could I know the brackets idea. What could we make from those seasons? Like actual games, or like birthday party themes or it's surrounding that, or what?
Mhm.
What do you think? What are some ideas?
Yeah, so I did actually. This is from Perplexity, and I picked the ones that made sense. So season schedule and score trackers. There's fantasy football, baseball draft spreadsheets. There's bracket templates. There's party kits for football watch parties. I remember seeing what was it? There are products for kids who are getting into this. Oh my god.
My oldest
Okay.
is 23 and he does imaginary brackets and teams
Oh, wow.
all over. So, but I know he does it all on his phone,
Mhm.
but I don't know how that would translate. And I'm not sure he would have enough patience to like say, yeah, mom, do this.
I don't know if that's if he's using an app. I wonder if he's using an app if it's on his phone.
Yeah, they have apps.
Yeah.
But
a bracket would be a good printable for like an
Mm,
office, right?
yes, yes. Yes, it would, and smaller groups, groups of friends, maybe friends wouldn't be seeing each other every day for that, but definitely for an office. I think there's also for kids who are getting into these sports, starting lessons. And I'm sorry, I have seen these products, but I can't remember them. But it's essentially plans, where the games are happening, food, what potluck. I think potlucks around these. I need to check this.
Snack sheets,
I Snack sheets. Yes, 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 yes. You are right. Snack sheets. That's the word I was looking for. So there's products for kids who are starting lessons around all of these, because that's when everybody's excited by these games and sports and all of that. So these are this first list is what I got from Perplexity that I thought made sense. But again, the main thing to keep in mind is that there's no kind of trademarks that are being used. So just using a word like fantasy football should be okay, but giving it a bit more of NFA, NFAA or NBA, etc., those might not be good. So just some ideas, but I will kind of explore these a bit more and see what else I can find for you that are related to
Thanks.
sports seasons.
That's
No problem.
awesome.
Thank you. So yes, in Jan we are talking about listings for late Feb and March, which wedding and engagement products definitely worth creating and promoting, especially for spring weddings, summer weddings. That's kind of the big season for weddings is coming up, and it can be everything from planners to place card holders to games, everything that you can think of. These are huge niches, so if you're going into it, it's best to start early and to kind of list as many as you can, starting in Jan and Feb. And these are kind of just, probably should take this off. But gift tags, labels, recipe cards, family reunion, games, invitations, these are just standard products that kind of work, across different niches. So yes, if you're these are products that don't have as much competition as planners, for example, that we were talking about. So definitely consider using some of these if you're if this sounds like something you want to create. A theme that I have.
Question, real quick question for the recipe cards. Do they need to be filled out? Do they not need to be filled out? Is it just a blank card?
It's just a
The
blank
blank
card.
card. Okay.
Yeah. It's just printable blank cards. I've seen digital versions of those as well, but just simple blank cards is the thing. They don't have to be filled out. You can also, yes, sorry, I was getting kind of sidetracked, but you can also offer, on a related note, filled in cards if you have them, or if you want to create them, you can offer filled in cards for food bloggers or filled in templates for food bloggers, because they're always looking for things that digital products that they can sell. So nutrition or food bloggers who might want to kind of make some minor edits but have most of the content already filled in, they'd be a good market for filled in cards, and not just the templates. But for most customers, they'll be looking for blank cards that they can fill in, either typed or handwritten. And newsletter handprint continues to be a very popular type of product. Think seasons like Valentine's Day, Easter, all of these cute festivals that are coming up, um, they continue to be popular products. And I'm just going to add footprint here so there's no forgetting that. And newsletter templates, they kind of really picked up last year, and they continue to be very, very popular for all kind of products this year as well. And then this Women's History Month, International Women's Day, classroom bulletin boards. There's not a lot more products you can create around these, but educational products with inspirational women might be good. But there's not too many other product types that would appeal specifically for International Women's Day or Women's History Month. Uh, And design and aesthetic trends. So I definitely want you to look at this Pinterest predicts. I check this every year, and I find the ideas really interesting and really kind of out there. But at the same time, it's based on what people are searching for on Pinterest. And what I also like about Pinterest is that it kind of gives you a lot more, it gives you a breakdown by audience. And so if you can kind of see, let me just open it up here. I think I might be long. Let's see. So a couple of ways to, so this is when I have not logged in. There is Pinterest predicts, and I have the link to that in this document, so you can simply open it up. But it shows you a few, good um, keywords that people are searching for right now. Icy nails, for example, that's a really good one. And Anthropology Home, it again gives you a sense of the kind of aesthetics that people are looking for. I find these, again, very easy to look at and very, very interesting to use. You can look at shopping trends, especially, I need to log in, but again, gives you a good sense of the kind of products that people are buying based on, Pinterest clicks. Gives you a few ideas for aesthetics as well as for products that you can create. Now we are seeing nails here, we are seeing nail care, we are seeing icy nails, we are seeing winter hair braids. So, products related to winter nail and winter hair care might actually be interesting, or, designs as well as, how to care for hair and nails in winter. Gingerbread house probably peaked in December, but New Year nails, blue winter nails, again, we're seeing a lot of these nails and hair care that picked up. So that's just Pinterest trends without logging in, but once you log in, it gets even better. There's the audience overview, there's the full analytics, but there's also audience insights, which I really like. Yeah. This is the audience insights, and it gives you things like, the related interests for your audience. So my audience, and especially because I'm pinning a lot of PLR templates, and they're looking at things like event planning, food and drinks, travel, health, DIY and crafts, education, design, art, entertainment, home decor, finance to a lower extent. But it also gives you this affinity score, which finance is the highest, which means interest around financial planning, real estate, all of these, not so much banking, but these are kind of what appeals to my audience who are looking for PLR products. And similarly, if you're using Pinterest, if you're pinning a lot, you can start to get a sense of, the age distribution, the gender distribution, top countries and devices. So you know that, people, for myself, for example, I know that people who are looking at my products are possibly more into, saving money, making money, financial planning. These are things that are top of mind or that are important to them. They may not be top of mind, but those are important to them, and that's something that they might be looking for. So again, my audience size is not very large. It's less than 10K people. And if I were to do my engaged audience, interestingly, it's got vehicles, but the affinity is not much higher than anything else. It's not, finance was at 7. These are all pretty much similar numbers. There's parenting, gardening, event planning comes up again, and DIY and crafts, health. These are all things that come up once again. And design, again, themes that would appeal to my target audience or my engaged audience. And interestingly, my engaged audience is slightly, older than, the full audience that I had, and more female than the full audience that I had. That female doesn't make much of a difference because my larger audience was also heavily skewed towards women. But age, definitely you're seeing that my engaged audience is slightly older. They're 35 to 44 compared to, the full audience that was seeing my pins. So again, gives you a few good insights about the themes and topics you can use. Yes, Pinterest predicts. Please use this. You can download it. Yes, you can download the full thing. So there's a lot of really good ideas here that I saw yesterday, and cool blue, frosty, icy blue. That seems to be a color that's coming up a lot. Snail mail is picking up, which is very interesting. Which they're saying that Gen Z is kind of really into snail mail, which means products like stationery, envelopes, stickers, and stamps, which I had thought were too competitive, might actually do well, if they are targeted well, and if there's a really clean way to get people to your shop. But that might be a good opportunity. Gummy bears aesthetic, I found that really strange. It's not something that is easy to recreate. Where is that? Yeah. Okay, it's not showing up here, but it is. Just open it here, right? Another one that I found interesting was Afro Bohemian, which is a mix of African and Bohemian styles. And they're calling it Poet Core, but it looks very similar to Dark Academia. So again, a design trend that might be something you can incorporate into your designs if that fits your. So yes, all of this, these bubblegum colors and these kind of bold colors and text and everything, that seems, and all of the big designs, that seems to be coming up again. And some of the words that, you know, struck me from Pinterest predicts, and that seems to be a theme across all of their trends, is words like opulent, maximalist, more is more. So that seems to be where we used to have pastel and art deco and more subtle kind of neutral colors and designs and minimalist colors and designs. It looks like customers are looking for more of these kind of opulent and kind of really bold and bright colors and designs. So again, if there's ways to incorporate these into your products, that's something you could consider as well. Okay, that was what I had for today. I'll be sharing these documents with you. I hope this was helpful. Again, it's not as big as Q4. There is a lot going on, but it's not as huge as the Q4 opportunities and the Q4 ideas and all of that. It's a lot more focused. So definitely look through those and let me know if there's anything that you want to learn more of. Thoughts, comments, questions before we wrap up?
For me, that was really helpful because as you were going through it, being able to ask questions like, how would I use it? What kind of products could I make with it? What have you seen? So that was really helpful. I'm looking at the new bubblegum colors and I'm thinking I've created one set of bulletin boards and I'm doing another set for Black History Month that are going out. And I'm thinking that would be a good color set to do for something coming up,
Mm-mm.
maybe, right?
Women's History Month. I think bubblegum
Right.
colors would be great for Women's History Month. Just bright and bold and confident and just out there.
So that was just really helpful I'm looking at some of the things that you said and it feels like there's never enough time, right? There's just never enough time to get things out. Does everybody else agree
Yes.
too?
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. No, that is so true, and that is something I feel really bad about. I wish I could. Literally, I would just spend all my day creating if I could. That's all I want to be doing all the time. And again, I know you've probably heard me say this a number of times, but for folks who are new here, please don't think that you have to do all of this. Please don't think that you have to tick all of these boxes. Pick the ones that really appeal to you, pick the ones that you can do, and that you can kind of expand, to 2 or 3 different themes or product types without, kind of doing everything from scratch. Bulletin boards is a great idea because you can kind of, once you have the template or the format, you can create multiple products with different themes, games, invitation cards, planners, doesn't matter what it is, but pick one and see how you can use this trend information to create products. And again, the monthly planning call is not to kind of say we are going to be doing all of this. It's to give you ideas that you can kind of put in the back of your mind, because now that you have this information, as you go about your daily life, as you see other products, as you see other advertisements and things in your social media, you'll start to get ideas. You're like, oh, this could work and this could work, and we had talked about this and this makes sense, etc. So it's really about keeping these in the back of your mind. Or get it done week is when we are really going to be focusing on execution. So you don't feel like you have to be doing everything from this right away. Let these ideas sit with you and see what comes up for you that you can create.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. And Tiffany, again, I think bubblegum colors would look so cool on Google Sheets and on digital planners. They'd be like so completely different from what we see normally. Again, lots of opportunities there. So, just things to kind of let simmer and see what comes up.
Yeah, I've already written that down.
So-
I'm working on a planner at a glance or calendar at a glance 5-year spreadsheet that's going to also have Google links where you can links to your Google Calendar on the spreadsheet as well. So I'm working on those now, and I think that bubblegum would look really cute with that. So that's probably going to be like my next, after I finish the one I'm working on now, redo it in those colors as well.
Yeah, I mean, they'd look so bright and bold, and I'm like, I would love to see some of those. And I know some of your planners have amazing colors. they're not the same as everyone else. So I'm pretty excited to see some of these come to life. Thank you, Alicia, Tiffany, and Tracy just dropped, but thank you for joining me today, and I hope this was helpful. I love talking to you. I could talk about this forever, but thanks so much. And before I end, I did want to let you know, I definitely want to do something really good for the first year anniversary of Tuesday Trends next month. I really don't know what that is. I have a lot of ideas in my mind, or rather, yes, I have a lot of ideas. I'm not excited about any of them. So if you have any thoughts about what would be even better, let me know and I'll definitely see what I can do and if I can bring that in. I think, especially members who've been with me all along, I want to make sure that, we do something really cool and fun and helpful to everyone. Yes, I mean, if you don't have ideas, I'll just go with mine. But, I'm not excited about any of those at the moment. And you're looking for what would be helpful for you as we go. Thank you. Thank you so much. And bye. And have a wonderful day or evening. And I'll see you next month.
It's good. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.